So today is Tuesday, and it is what would that be? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today's my fourth day on this summer journey, and I'm sitting here just doing some work. And as I do so, I find all types of thoughts going through my mind. And I thought that I might just take a few minutes and share some of them because, you know, the videos that I've been doing since I arrived here in Budapest are mostly the walkthrough videos. And when I'm doing the walkthrough videos, I'm usually adding commentary about, you know, where I'm at or what I'm looking at or who I'm meeting, etc., etc. And I don't really have the opportunity or the time to share a lot of the thoughts that are going on in my head. And I thought that for some of you out there, at least, that to know what's going on inside my head might be of interest. So there's quite a wide range of things going on in my head right now, and you know they vary from an incredible amount of different topics, if you will. For example, as I sit here working, you know, I had the intention that I would spend a lot of time like in the coffee shops, you know, go down to Starbucks or go down to some of the local coffee shops and work just to get out. But I find myself not being very productive. And when I'm not being productive, when I call it a day, at the end of the day, if I haven't been productive, then it kind of takes away from my happiness, if you will. So I definitely love being productive. And you know, it's interesting, as I was sitting here, I found myself thinking that being self-employed, being an entrepreneur, if you will, and some of you out there think that might be an entrepreneur and not an entrepreneur, but being self-employed really takes a tremendous amount of self-discipline to to not get distracted. I've met people over the years. In fact, I've met entrepreneurs over the years sitting in coffee shops that tell me that they go to the coffee shop because if they sat at home, they wouldn't get any work done. And I can do it both ways. I can go down to the local coffee shop, but more times than not, if I really want to focus and get work done, then I'll find myself sitting here at home, so to speak. You know, the other thing that goes through my mind is it's just interesting that here I sit at 53 years old, and I am halfway around the world from where I call home, and I can just travel at will, and that is such a luxury. You know, it is such a luxury and such I was going to say a unique opportunity. It's not unique because I'm not the only person that has that opportunity, but I find myself feeling so incredibly fortunate that, you know, I can just pick up and take my job, take my career with me, and travel, such as I am. And you know, I'm sure there's those out there that wonder if I get lonely traveling around the world by myself. And to be quite honest with you, there are times that yes, you know, it can be quite lonely, particularly when you're walking out and about, like on a Friday night or a Saturday night or something like that, and you're walking down the street with all types of people enjoying their evenings, and couples, you know, and what have you. And I ride the metro here in Budapest, and there's no shortage of lovers on the metro, you know, arm in arm and what have you. It's always interesting seeing those young couples that are just you know, it looks like they just met and they just can't take their eyes off of each other, and every 5 seconds, you know, they're giving little kisses and what have you. You see that all the time here in Budapest. I think they call it PDA, isn't it? Public Display of Affection. But anyway, I do get lonely, and in an ideal situation, I would have somebody special with me traveling. You know, it's interesting because those of you that have followed me over the years have seen different ladies come in and out of my life, and you know, there's been Popita, which was Lorena, and you know, there's been different ones that have come in and out of my life over the years. But you know, if I had a magic wand, if I had the ability to do so, of all the women that have come in and out of my life, the one probably that I would most like to have the ability to travel around with would be Mercedes. And Mercedes is a gem. You know, I often find myself thinking whether or not you know, ending the relationship with Mercedes was you know, necessarily the best decision, and it wasn't an easy decision. But I know that I like to travel, and I know that I like to travel, you know, when I want, and for how long I want, and to where I want. And it's not always easy to have a well, it's not easy, I should say, to have a relationship where you can't where you're going to be separated for long periods of time. But boy, I'll tell you that you know, thoughts of Mercedes haunt me. You know, the memories of Mercedes, they haunt me. In that her and I had so many good times together, so many good travels with one another. And you know, if I had a magic wand, then you know, I'd have Mercedes traveling along with me. And you know, interestingly enough, I was talking to Edit today. Edit is a friend of mine down in Genoa, Italy, and Edit was telling me that she's friends with Mercedes on Facebook, and she was telling me that you know, Mercedes from her postings on Facebook seems to be doing great and happy and all that type of stuff. And I couldn't honestly, I couldn't be happier for her. So that's something else that's going on through my mind. The other thing going on through my mind is my itinerary. You know, what to do, where to go, who to see, and my flight home is on July 15th. That's the ticketed date of my return, is July 15th, and that's just over a month from now. And I've got this place here in Budapest until the 24th of June. I think 24th, maybe the 29th. Nem tudom, as they say here in Budapest. Nem tudom, meaning I don't know. But I have this place, and the options, you know, are just really something else. I want to go to Lviv. I keep telling myself that I've got to take advantage of this opportunity. You know, not to rush home. I've got to take advantage of this opportunity, and I know that my partner up in Krakow is looking forward to seeing me. Joanna is looking forward to seeing me and her daughters, and maybe her husband, I don't know. But her husband is the director of the National Museum of Art in Krakow. Huge, huge position. And he can open some pretty interesting doors for me, needless to say. And he has some connections over in Lviv, over in Ukraine. And that's a city that I'd like to go to. And you know, I've also thought about going to Lithuania and Latvia, up just north of Poland. And today, you know, as far as the logistics of getting from point A to point B, you know, dealing with buying airfare, it's cheap enough to fly, but then you got to deal with all the luggage and everything. And I've got, you know, like normal, I pack too much, and so I find myself thinking maybe I should just rent a car. And the idea To drive from Budapest to Krakow is about a 6-hour drive. And you have to drive through Slovakia. And I did that drive once before, and I gotta tell you, it is gorgeous. It's breathtaking. Driving through the Tatra Mountains, T-A-T-R-A, driving through the Tatra Mountains are just absolutely incredibly gorgeous. And then going into Poland, it's just gorgeous. So many countryside homes, built out of wood, and etc. And then the other thing I thought about doing was doing a road trip and maybe driving down to Italy. And I went online to see how much a car is, and it's like dirt cheap. I can rent a car for the better part of a month for like $500 or $600, which was what airfare would cost me. And then of course you got to throw in gas and all that. But needless to say, I thought of maybe driving down to Italy via Austria and Switzerland, and going and seeing some places. I used to stay. I was traveling around the world, staying in some incredible hotels, and I'm sure that with a few emails, I could arrange to stay at some really nice places. For example, I could probably email the Palace in Vienna, Palace Schwarzenberg, P-A-L-A-I-S, Palace Schwarzenberg in Vienna. Or I could go to Dürnstein, D-U-R-N-S-T-E-I-N, Dürnstein, just east of Vienna on the Danube, and I could probably stay at a 5-star hotel there, and then find my way over to Salzburg and Steinenheim, and I'd go on down through Switzerland. I'm sure Frida would probably put me up for a night if I passed through her neck of the woods. Maybe she wouldn't, because maybe if she, maybe because I voted for Donald Trump, Frida wouldn't put up somebody for, well, maybe she'd let me sleep out in the barn, But anyway, so what else? And then get down into Italy, and go see Edith and Amadeo, and go down through Cinque Terre with them, and then find my way back to Budapest sometime in July, and then maybe catch a flight over to Portugal. I'd love to see Lisbon. And for that matter, I'd love to see southern Spain. So who knows, But those are a lot of the thoughts that are going on through my mind. And in case you're wondering, Tom, you see the Tom shirt. I'm not that full of myself, trust me. Okay, as far as the Tom shirt, I had the opportunity to see a friend that has a home here in Budapest, and his friend is from New Zealand. And I had lunch yesterday with this friend, and the last time I was in New Zealand, I went to a restaurant called Tom Tom, of all things. And you can Google it, and they're in Auckland, Tom Tom restaurant. But I went to Tom Tom restaurant in New Zealand, and of course, being Tom, I had to get a shirt. So I had left the shirt in New Zealand, and yesterday I happened to have lunch with this friend, and the shirt was returned nonetheless. But anyway, so I'm going to get back to work, and in doing so, I was thinking that I was going to do a video today after I call it a day, and just bring you along for an experience that involves going to get a haircut. And I was going to stop at this Turkish restaurant of mine, a favorite restaurant, and get something to eat for lunch, and then go get this haircut. And there's this little barber over on the other side of town here in Budapest, not too far from the Parliament. There's this barber, and when I was living here back in, it must have been almost 14 years ago now, when I was living here, I had a girlfriend, and I wanted my hair cut a certain way. Now when I go to get a haircut, I just say, do the best you can, or make me look as good as possible. And but back then I was a little bit more vain, and I remember when I was going to get a haircut, I was gonna walk in, and I had my girlfriend Nori, who She is a, you could find Nori on my Facebook. If you look at my friends, just click, you'll find Nora. And she's married to a wonderful man now with two beautiful children. But Nori would leave a note. She wrote a note for me on paper. It says, you know, how I like my haircut, you know, a little bit off the top, cut off the sideburns, that kind of thing. And this barber, after all these years, every time I've come back to Budapest and I walk in, you know, he's got this drawer. It's like, I guess it's like a junk drawer like you would have in your kitchen. You know, you've got one of those, right? You have a junk drawer at home. And this guy's got this junk drawer in his barber shop. And I walk in and he'll recognize me. And he'll smile, and without hesitation he'll walk over to this drawer and he'll pull out this little piece of paper, you know, that he's had for all these years. And so we'll go see, and maybe I'll bring you along for that and stop and have a nice lunch. But anyway, so those are just some of the thoughts, and you know, I'll show you in closing. I'll show you what I've been working on here, because it's actually quite interesting. I'm gonna take my little device here that I've got, my little gimbal, and I'm gonna kind of give you an idea as to what I'm doing. So what you're looking at right here is a Facebook page for this client of mine called ABC Auto Care. And if I go to their actual website over here, so if I go to abcautocare.com, this is the actual website for abcautocare.com. And if I come in on the website and I go to example for the, there's a link here that says team. So when I look at their team page on their website, you can see there's all their team there. Well, what I'm doing is I'm creating an app in Facebook, and this is what's called a, so if I come over here and I look at all of my apps for my clients, and I come down and I find ABC team, right there, these are all of the configurations. These would be the configurations for the app for ABC Auto Care. Now if I come over here to their website, abcautocare.com, and I go down to the bottom, there's a little link down in the lower left corner for Facebook, and if you click on that, it'll take you over to ABC Auto Care's Facebook page. So the slick thing about the app is I can take and I can program their website so that it integrates seamlessly into their Facebook page. So when they go to their website and they can update their staff on their website, simultaneously it's feeding into their Facebook page. So it's something that I learned some time back, you know, when I was working with Wells Fargo Bank, as far as, you know, building relationships, you know, relationship building and sales. And the more products that you tie people in, like I charge ABC Auto Care, my other clients, I charge them a fee to be able to connect the website to Facebook. So the more relationship building you can do with a client, the better off, you know, the longer they're going to stay with you. So anyway, that's just give you some feedback on that. And with that being said, I'm going to get on with my day, and I should, in doing so, I should give a shout out to is it Muriel, I believe, who's having a birthday today, if I'm not mistaken. So happy birthday to you. That's about all you're going to get from me, Muriel. Happy birthday, and have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye-bye.